allergies kicking my ass. Damn.
Bruh, I'm so glad I ain't got to deal with allergies, man. Like for real, for
Bro,
real. I don't know how y'all be doing it, bro. I
I
really
don't know
don't.
either. I've been sniffling for like an hour.
Like I had the I think I got a well, no, I think they got that shit already. But like ever since I started getting that natural raw honey from my old coworker,
Mm-hmm.
Maddie ain't been having like too many issues with her allergies and stuff lately. So she been good. So and Drew ain't been complaining about his, so I'm like, cool. As long as y'all ain't complaining about y'all allergies, I'm good. Anyway, man, we are live. We are back. We're a little late. We're gonna keep it short and light because I'm tired, boss.
Oh God. Listen,
Both of us like he fighting allergies. I was feeling sick yesterday and today. Like, I don't know, man. Look,
listen.
this is tired. We got people in the chat already. What up, Dre? What up, Dre?
Episode 87. Hey
Did
man.
I?
Cause
Oh, down there on the go. Okay, bet down there in Galveston.
let me make this real quick while we doing that.
Off the Texas City Dike. One of them two probably. Yeah, man. Episode 87, Sucio Sports, presented by the dude sponsor. If you look up there in the corner, you see it. Dubby. Shout out to Dubby. Waiting for them to hit us with the codes and stuff so we could give y'all that so y'all can really, really support the show.
Facts. I should have the QR code ready for next Wednesday. I'm totally like, yeah. So yeah. I had something else I wanted to say before we started the show. Hey man, we don't do it enough, but I just want to give Jermaine his flowers, man, because I be in and out, but every Wednesday, no matter what, Jermaine is here giving y'all the updates, the news, the what's what, man. So shout out to bro, because without him, we probably be on episode like 50. Leave it up to me. We probably be on like episode 50 right now. So we 13 away from 100. So
yeah, man, bro, it be a grind, dog. Cause like today, like I was working way up on the north side again, and like I said, I wasn't feeling good like last night and this morning, all day today and stuff. And I was just like, nah, we gotta get something. I gotta get it in. I gotta get it in. Like if anything, just to shake off the bad day. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
Just to shake off the bad day. You know,
Man, between work and Jackson playing football now, so like,
oh
man,
yeah,
it's been. I be tired, bro. I be tired.
man,
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about. Oh,
I already know that's my cousin, bro. I already knew he was gonna say something about that. I already knew.
listen,
something about
you know what's crazy? That because I had already put it in the rundown. I was debating on which one I wanted to start with, like going through the NFC or going through the AFC. Because at first I was just going to do divisions, but I was like, we ain't got a lot to talk about this week, so we can kind of go through like the whole NFC and knock that out. So that's funny. That's actually funny.
I mean, it's like right now, it's still early and stuff. You know what I'm saying? To like judge certain things or whatever, and like we only had one preseason game. Most teams, unless you played in the Hall of Fame game, then you're on your second. But I mean, like for the most part, it's still early. Like the only QB quote unquote battle right now across the league that I see that's got some good spark to it is what's going on in Cleveland. Simply because Shador performed pretty well. You got two of the veterans that's hurt. Or one, well, I think Dylan Gabriel and one of them was hurt. Flacco was hurt, so it's like you got Shador, and then you got what's his name, Pickett, and it's like them two the only two that really played, but it's like they're making things interesting, and like I've been saying, like you paid Flacco veteran minimum, you spend draft picks on Shador and Dylan Gabriel, and then you traded for Pickett.
Yep.
Most teams don't keep 4 quarterbacks on their roster, so what do?
They actually got 5 because they just picked up Tyler Huntley.
Yeah. Because they had injuries.
Yep.
And then you got to think about this too. Like with all them quarterbacks on their roster, you got to get rid of somebody, at least one or two. Then you look at a team like the Giants, where all three quarterbacks played.
All three could be starters.
Bro, like they got the toughest like decision to make. Like you paid Russell like to come in as a veteran starter for a season. You paid Jameis veteran backup money, and then you moved up back into the first round to draft Jackson Dart.
I think Jackson Dart is if it's me, Dart is 3, Jameis 2, Russell 1. And that 2-3 is iffy because it's really close as far as because Dart, and I've been telling y'all since last year, Dart's special. Dart is he has it. He's ready to go day one if you ask me. Like they did. I mean, of course, you don't know what you're getting until you get them in house, but it's definitely tough. So the Colts had a little battle up until Richardson broke his pinky. So as of right now, until he comes back, that's Daniel Jones's job.
Bro, and the other thing was the play he got hurt on. He didn't read the defense himself because that free blitzer was supposed to be his man. He's supposed to read.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like that. You got yourself hurt because you weren't prepared. Simple as that, man. Like he got to do better than that. But we knew that Anthony Richardson was going to be a project coming into the league simply because he barely had any starts in college. You know, and when you don't have them starts under your belt to get in game time and to get in shape and to, go against those SEC defenses and stuff like that, you're not going to be ready for that when it comes to step up to the highest level at the league level. So,
but it definitely shows all you need is one good year. That junior or senior year is all you need. And it can project you to going from a 5th or 6th round pick into that first, second round. So,
For sure. And I think teams were enticed by his physicality. Like he has like the prototypical size that you would look for at a quarterback. He has the speed and everything. And he has certain intangibles like the arm strength and different things like that, escapability, extending the play and all of that good stuff. But it's like, bro, like the simple stuff, like reading a defense and knowing how to put certain touches on certain throws and different things like that. Like, he's got to get better at that stuff, man. And it just takes time. And I think that they would have been better off keeping Flacco and letting him sit and learn under a veteran for a year or so.
I didn't understand why they let Flacco go. They also had
Matt Ryan. They first they had Phillip Rivers, then I think they had Matt Ryan. And
then they had Flacco and it was somebody else. But I mean, you got to live with what you got now. They brought in Daniel Jones for a reason. And like I said, right now with Richardson being hurt, it's his team. So, and I think Jones is going to do better than he did. We were talking about this actually at the field, and I said I think Jones is going to do better with the Colts because that system is more of that system that Peyton Manning had, where that's the type of quarterback Daniel Jones is. He's of that I don't want to say caliber per se, but that mold in a sense, where you got to remember when you're drafted as a rookie, you can't always control where you're going. Sometimes you're just thrown into a team because you're what they need as far as they need a quarterback. So they go and take you. But you may not be that quarterback that fits their system or whoever the coach is at the time system. So it's always tough.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man, where I really feel like
that is true. But I think the Browns because of Deshaun being hurt, the Browns are at least keeping. I think they're gonna carry 4.
Huh?
I think they're gonna, because with Deshaun being out for the season, I was looking at the comments.
I was like,
my bad.
Like,
with Deshaun being gone for the year, I think that because they're unsure of who is going to be their solid all year starter, they're going to keep 4. I think they're going to cut from some other position but I think they're gonna keep 4. Because at this point, you kind of got to keep 4. It's just what 4 are they keeping? I think Tyler Huntley needs to be one of those 4 personally. But then you keep Huntley. Do you cut one of the rookies? You brought in two vets. Do you cut one of the vets? You traded for Pickett, which that don't always matter because it was it was late round draft pick. So that ain't, you know. You can take the L. You can kind of take the L on that one, so that's not a huge thing.
It's certain situations that they'll find themselves in, and also like if you put, like let's say if you put Pickett on the practice squad, will somebody come and pick him up? You know, if you put one of them rookies on the practice squad, somebody gonna come and pick him up and sign him to their roster. So it's like like Dre said, you got options. But it's like you need to be careful with how you go about those options because one wrong move. And the other thing is like I always say with the NFL, it's a game of numbers. Like you only got 53 main roster spots, and you got I think 8 to 10 or so on the practice squad. But the practice squad can be signed to another team's 53-man roster and taken off your practice squad at any point in time. So it's like you gotta be careful with who you put where and what you do with them and how you acquire them and what loss are you willing to take. So I mean, teams don't normally like cut draft picks, not typically, unless it's got to be like some really outrageous type of shit for them to cut a draft pick.
And Shedeur, so the thing with Shedeur that's going to be hard because that's really the one that everybody's watching to see if he's getting cut or what is. The owner didn't want him. But everybody else in the house loves him. The players love him. The vets are behind him. Like you can tell the vets want him to be the starter. You know what I mean? Like they see the future and they want it to be him. But the owner is kind of like, that's the GM's boy. That's not mine. That's not who I wanted. So it's like it's so
weird.
tough.
Yeah,
very
strange, man. It's kind of strange.
Haslam was weird for doing that anyway. I would have never should have came out and said any of that. Even if it was how you really felt, you shouldn't have said any of that to the media. But at the same time, I feel like it gives Shedeur that battery to go out and prove him wrong. Like prove the guy that's signing your checks wrong that you are the guy he should have wanted. And I think he did in the first preseason game. I mean, he had a couple of reads that were, off. But also, you got to remember he's not getting the full first team O-line protection. I think with that full first team O-line, he might have looked a lot different. We'll never know, but
yeah, and
I like his assessment. I like his assessment of himself.
I don't really read too much into it though, like what Haslam said, to be honest with you, because he said, he slid and the team saw value in him. He just said it wasn't his personal choice, which the draft picks are typically left up to the GM. Maybe something higher up, maybe up to the owner, but later in the draft, like the only time stuff like that will come up and the owner will be like, yes, do it, or no, don't do it, is if it's like a real character issue, like if somebody slid, like for example, that year La'el Collins had that murder charge or whatever against him, and the Cowboys ended up picking him up. Jerry Jones was willing to take that chance.
Jerry always wasn't. Jerry, that's because Jerry don't give a damn. Jerry don't care.
Jerry care about headlines and trying to, he
keeping that star in the news. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said it, Dre. Yep, I said it. That's all he care about. Yep. Keeping that damn star in the news.
Yeah, it be, bro, it really be crazy because, like, notice sometimes some owners will play the background and some owners like to step out in front. And Jerry has always been a guy that's always wanted to be out in front. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like he started to do it to the detriment of the team. And then some years ago, I'll say starting with passing on Johnny Manziel and taking what's the guard name out of Notre Dame? Zach Martin.
But that was a great move. I mean, long term,
when he
great
listened
move.
To Steven, no, I'm saying that when he started listening to Steven more, that's when the team started progressing.
They started drafting better.
Right.
They started drafting way better. But that year, I still think Johnny. GM. Hindsight now, we know Johnny may not have been the move, but I think in that moment, I still would have took Johnny. in the long term, we see Zach Martin was, of course, the better pick, but I still think Johnny in Dallas. Uh,
But my whole point was that when he started listening to Steven, the team started drafting better. But now when you look at how they're re-signing people and stuff, it's like Jerry's still doing Jerry type of stuff, man.
yeah, because why
Like,
Micah? I wasn't here last week to talk about this, but why the fuck, bro? Why does Micah? Micah should have been one of the first three between him, CD. No, four between Clay, him, Trayvon. It
but
was
they
him,
weren't
yeah,
all.
him, Diggs, Dak, and Clay and CD should have been the first four outside, other than shoring up the O line. Them four should always stay under contract. Like
But
I don't understand it.
it was the whole thing was had he when he re-signed CD and Dak last season, he could have re-signed them earlier and saved more cap space, like I've been talking about. Micah, he should have re-signed Micah last year
Yeah,
because the
instead of
price
waiting,
went up.
now you done gave him the 5th-year option. Now it's more money now.
Well, not just that is more money. It's just that when you look at what Myles Garrett just got, and you look at what old boy LA,
You gotta give him. You have to give him 40. I think it was like when I looked at it,
it's got to
they
be
showed
around
it
41,
43.
43 a year. Yeah,
43. It's
it's
at least gotta be.
it's gotta be
You
up
have
there.
to. You have to make him the highest paid now, because
'Cause
he's gonna want to be the highest paid now. So you
Miles
gotta
Garrett,
give him 43.
what's his name?
Mostly everybody had 42 from what I saw. Like the bigger name DNs were at 42. You at least got to either give him 42.5 or you got to give him 42.3. I mean, give him 43. Because I remember looking at the graphic. Yeah, Watt got 42. Who else was it? It was Watt. It was Miles.
No, what happened was
What's his name with the Raiders? Got 40. I think he was around like 41. Like you pretty much have to give him 42.5 or 43.
well, this is the thing. If you give him like as long as the annual average value is around 41, 42, he's good because Garrett and TJ Watt both got like around 40. So as long as he's like a little bit above them and got the same kind of guaranteed money as them, maybe a little bit more, then yeah, he's gonna be okay. But it's like, yeah, because TJ Watt is at 41. So if Micah's at 41 and a half or 42, he's good. But
Yeah, Micah, I think
guaranteed money and the percentage of the contract that's guaranteed that really like makes what makes it really what like pushes you forward, because it's always next man up, next man up, next man up, next man up. And this is why I was shocked that Jerry went so above the last contract to re-sign Dak. I was like,
yeah,
why
here
did
you go.
he do that? Like he went
Yeah,
way up.
Miles got 123.5. Nick Bosa got 122.5. Max Crosby is at 91.5. Brian Burns got 87.5. Zach Allen's at 69.5. Milt Williams 63. Montez Sweat got 62.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like you see where the money is, and it's like,
but you know he's gonna want to be in that top 3 conversation of Garrett, Bosa, and Crosby.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna want at least, I would say, about 85 to 90% of that contract guaranteed, whatever it is, somewhere in that range of it.
He's at least gonna want 125. He's gonna want to be more than Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
because in his mind he's worth more
money. But this is the other thing. This is the other part about it. He's so young and so good, so early on into his career, and so productive.
Let me tell you something.
Like you gotta pay him.
We going through that. The Eagles going through that too. Look at that D-line. That D-line young, 24, 25. Like they're young. And most of them are just now ending.
They couldn't bring back Josh Sweat because of the same thing.
Like you're going to run into that issue because when you have players that progress so well and so fast, it's not enough money to spread around, sadly. And as fans, we want them to stay with us. But in reality, some people end up having to leave. Like they have to leave.
It's a perfect example. because of the way the Saints always in salary cap hell, they had Trey Hendrickson as a fourth rounder out of Florida. And they couldn't re-sign him because he was just gonna want way too much money. And they already had cap issues around the team and everything. So they had to let him go. And Cincinnati snatched him up. Now Cincinnati don't want to pay him because they're too damn cheap.
Yep. And you're right. Jalen Carter is a dog. Can't wait to see y'all week 1.
And Jordan Davis.
Oh,
but another thing that
it took Jordan Davis a little while though. He had to once he dropped that weight.
I see around the league too, that I've been noticing, like teams are realizing that some of these wide receivers are worth it. And not just the Bengals going crazy paying both of theirs, but you look at what like the Cowboys pay CD, like we just talked about.
Went out and got Jordan getting Pickett.
Right.
Pickett, they said Pickett stepping up like a number 1 in so far in camp.
Yeah,
he looking like a clear 1. And you know what's crazy? I've said for years CD is a 2. I never thought CD was a 1.
But the thing is though,
he was forced to be a 1 because Dallas ain't have nothing else. But I think if you can find a solid number 1, CD thrives better at 2.
But CD is a guy that can be a wide receiver 1. That's the thing. He's a good route runner. He gets open. He has good hands. It's just that when you really got to look at like that quarterback, like they don't have that many weapons around him either. So it's like teams can key in on him more because it's like, who do they have opposite of him? The tight end ain't all that great, and the wide receiver 2 and 3 ain't all that good. So it's like you could key on him and kind of game plan him out, but he's still putting up good numbers. He's still putting up solid numbers.
Yeah.
And it's like the only time you see a wide receiver that can just like go out there and just like, I'm gonna perform, I'm gonna be a dog no matter what. Like you rarely see that. You know what I'm saying? You rarely see that in NFL history. Like, because even when you look at what Randy Moss was doing in Minnesota and stuff, even with New England, he had Chris Carter and Jake Reed to start his career with in Minnesota, and then he had Edelman and Gronk there in New England. Jerry Rice had John Taylor on the other side of him. Plus, he had tons of running backs and tight ends and whatnot. Like, all the great receivers had somebody else opposite of them or next to them or whatever, other weapons on that offense to, like, balance it out. It's rare that you're going to find a receiver that's just going to be like, I'm a dog, I'm the number 1 guy, and I ain't got hardly nothing on the other side of me.
Yeah, because every team at least has 2 right now. I think you gotta, like Washington went out and got Debo. We got 2. Minnesota got 2 now with Addison and Jettis. Higgins and Chase. Like you have to have 2 now. You gotta have a solid 1 and 2, and then that 3 in the slot, you can put not even say anybody, but you can play around with that 3rd one a little more now. When you got a solid 1 and 2 on the outside, your tight end might end up being your best 3rd, and a lot of teams also have that.
Bro, another thing too is like you got a team like you got a team like Kansas City where the wide receiver 1 is technically the tight end.
Yeah.
You got a team like San Francisco where the wide receiver 1 is technically the tight end. Or like your top threat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if you got a badass tight end, okay, that's one of your receiving threats. You need at least 2 solid receiving threats.
I'm looking at like the Lions. Offense. The Lions got 2 solid tight ends, and they got wide receivers. So it's like then 2 running backs in the backfield.
Nah, NFL don't have no bird rights or nothing like that. Cause
Ferguson is the top 10 tight end. Ooh, that's a hot take there, Dre.
I mean, he could be. He has I'll put it like he has potential to be. I won't give him that right now, but he has the potential.
I'll say top 15. He's somewhere in 11 to 15. I don't think he's in the top 10. I think he's somewhere. But that's still good though. I'm not taking that away from him. On nights, I think he's definitely because I'm like the ones we just called out, and that won't even everybody, but I like Auden in Tampa. I think Auden is definitely top 10. You got Buffalo, Kincaid, and because they got two. Both of their tight ends are top. One's a top 10, the other one's like top 20. You got Goddard with us. Like you said, Kelsey. It's a lot. I mean, that tight end, I will say when they started that tight end U in the offseason, it's produced. I felt like the tight end play in the league has risen since they've been doing that, which is great because the tight end had slowly almost became like the fullback. Like it was there for blocking, but not as far as like receiving and.
Well, here's another thing. I think what really happened is, to me, tight ends became more important in the last 10 to 15 years or so. As you start to see teams draft more cornerbacks and they play defense to like take away some of the spread out options and stuff that you have, tight ends became more important. And you would see teams like take a chance on certain tight ends that were more receiving threats as opposed to inline blockers or, combo tight ends or what have you. And so when teams started putting a bigger emphasis on those guys, and then you would even see like big ass wide receivers start to play tight end simply because it was like, okay, we can flex you out. We can do this. We can do that. Like there's different things that they do with the tight ends in the last 10 to 15 years that have put a better emphasis on them. So when you really started seeing that, that's when like, okay, now we really need to key in on these guys. And when they started doing the tight end U, it's because tight ends were so like in vogue. Like if you had a really good receiving threat at tight end, you knew your offense would open up more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's just
that's crazy. Goddard is old now. That's crazy.
But this is the thing. Like another one that I was just looking at on this list, David Njoku is 28 now. Goddard is 30. Mark Andrews is 29 now. He's been a top tight end. Kelsey is 35.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys, Kittle is 31. So it's like we gotta start paying attention to like how these guys are getting up there in age, but they're still productive. They're still pretty productive. So one other thing that I like to look at a lot of times in preseason is how offensive lines perform together. And it's a lot of times something that people don't really pay attention to. They don't really focus on. They don't really key in on. And it's especially is when you have a rough time putting it together. You know what I mean? When you have certain things that don't work or don't gel, or you got different combinations, or guys are hurt or sitting out or what have you, and you got a new line that they haven't had chemistry together, you got to understand, like, you got to know how to move and lock and step with that guy next to you. So a lot of the times I like to watch like how the offensive lines play and whatnot and see how they're looking and everything. But most of the time, people like to pay attention to the fancy stuff like the quarterbacks and what are these wide receivers doing. And, this team got this hot shot rookie safety or corner or whatever. Like they like to look at the fancy stuff. I like to look at a little bit of everything. And like another thing that I saw, I remember it was in the Texans game. I saw it. Backup linebacker Jamal Hill ran down a toss play to the outside. That sideline to sideline speed is crazy when you look at some of these linebackers. And the thing about it is linebackers are getting smaller and quicker because they're having to cover more and do different things. And so no longer are you going to get like the 6'4", 250, 60-pound linebacker. You're going to get guys that's like 6'1",
6'2",
220, 230.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of quicker guys. They're almost like big safeties, kind of, sort of. And those are the guys that I see are starting to change the game at the linebacker position.
It's a new position, and it doesn't have a name yet. Because I was talking to some of the other parents about this, because they're actually doing this on Jackson's team. They're taking that safety and bringing him down into like that linebacker, but then you also got your DN that's backing up into that linebacker. So it's like it's some type a hybrid type of position where you can go from DN up to safety, and your safety can go anywhere from safety down to DN.
Well,
I like it.
what it is something is really stuff like that has been around because you'll get what's called like a box safety that plays closer to the line of scrimmage or in the box, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically acts like a linebacker. He's just a defensive back. But then you also have what you call an edge rusher now, is because that guy can come off the edge as a DN, or he can stand up and be like a 3-4 outside linebacker where he might drop into coverage or something like
Yep.
that.
I think Micah's a good example of that.
Right,
He's
because
a great
he
example of that.
plays that hybrid very well. TJ Watt can do it very well.
Uh-huh.
The
Max
Lions
Crosby.
even use Max Crosby. The Lions use Aiden Hutchinson that kind of
Yep.
way too.
Yep.
Myles Garrett can do it, but he's so good and so freaking talented,
Hey,
putting
man.
pressure on the quarterback and shutting down the run and everything. Like it's
I was
just like,
watching that joint practice today, watching him and Lane Johnson go at it. Oh my God. You want to
bruh.
talk about two big boys? It was beautiful though, because neither one was,
Yes,
I'm gonna be honest, nobody was
yes.
winning. Nobody was getting the best of each other. And it was funny at the end of each play, they slapping each other helmet in because it's that respect, because it's just like, oh, excuse me.
But I
That
love
respect they
seeing
have for each other is amazing.
I love seeing those kind of matchups and stuff like that, man. Like when the teams have those joint practices, or like I'll look on the schedule and like if I see Cleveland going against San Francisco, I want to see Trent Williams against Myles Garrett. You know what I'm saying? Or like when I see a Detroit against Philly, or when I see some of these great offensive linemen going against some of these great edge rushers and stuff like that. Like I love seeing those matchups, man, because it's not something that you get very often that you can say, oh man, look at this. Like I would love to see these two guys just bang heads, for lack of a better term, all day. Because offensive defensive line play, you basically in a small car crash every friggin' play. Every play is like a small car crash. And it gets to a point where one person may be taking advantage or getting the best of the other one, and then you may see it flip around. Or one of the things I used to love was watching Dwight Freeney set up that spin move on offensive lineman. Bro, he would hit that
spin that.
Bruh, he would get him with that outside step and try to drop that shoulder and bend and turn that corner so much to where they would be setting up for that outside, wide speed rush move. And then he just bam hit you with that spin, and like it wasn't nothing you could do about it. Or like even back in the day watching Reggie White with that club move, like he was so damn strong, bro. He would just knock you over. Like what the heck? Like who does that? Bro, like
I used to wish I ain't gonna lie. It's certain. I have a huge love for O linemen, defensive linemen too. But like, just on that D line, just watching them like just overpower that O lineman, and that was back when they were bigger. So it wasn't like the little smaller guys that we got now. Like these were some big dudes in the trenches. And to watch them, like you said, that Reggie White club where he just come through and just go around and pop the quarterback. Like, man,
yeah,
I've become a football dad recently, and so my new excitement for football is crazy because I don't just be watching Jackson practice. I'm watching 10U practice. I'm watching 12U. I'm looking at the little 7-8U, and they've been in pads the last like week. Just that sound, just
yeah.
Oh my God.
Jay Ratliff getting up in the A gap was a sight to see, bro. Those guys like that. I used to like watching those guys that like John Randall and Warren Sapp, the quicker, more pass rushing defensive tackles. But also like
watching Warren Sapp was like watching ballet,
bro.
Aggressive ballet. I'll say that,
bro.
Aggressive ballet.
Another one that I used to love to watch was them big space eaters like Saragusa, Big Ted Henderson, Vince Wilfork, guys like that when they would take on a double team, and you had the double team because if you blocked them
you
one-on-one,
had to double team Sarah.
bro, they would
Goose was
they would destroy you. They would literally just push you over into the quarterback or into the running back and then just destroy you basically. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I used to love watching stuff like that. But like you said, like once you start getting into little parts of the game, that's when you start to notice like certain little stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's when you would start to notice like, oh, wait a minute, I'm starting to peep other stuff now. And then you start watching the games on TV, and then it's like, oh shit, look at this, like, you know, you start to see different things or whatever, man. But it's always been interesting to me, man, to see all that kind of stuff. And like I was always interested in like different position battles and how like certain players set certain things up. And that's how come I became good friends with my homeboy that used to play, because I used to study like all that kind of stuff. And like, man, me and him would sit up and talk for hours, like wee hours of the morning, about like little small things. Like he'll be like, hey, watch this. He was like, you see how they got these 3 wide receivers stacked up right here? He was like, this guy right here is always gonna release like this. And if he releases like this, this gonna happen. You gotta watch out for this and blah. Like, bruh, like he showed me some shit one time, where it was a touchdown they gave up against the Chargers. And they thought that it was his fault when really it was Namdi's fault. And he showed me the same thing what happened with that time where Richard Sherman got mad against the Falcons because they was getting on his ass. He was supposed to be in cover 3, and he went in motion with like the 3rd string tight end and played man. And Julio got an easy touchdown, and everybody thought it was Earl Thomas' fault because he was late getting over trying to save the play and make the tackle. But he was deep third in the middle of the field. So it be like little shit like that, bro. Like if you don't read the play right or whatever, like busted coverages and stuff, is always somebody's fault because somebody didn't read the play right or whatever. But like little stuff like that, man, like the camera will fool you into thinking, oh, it was that person's fault. But if you go back and look at the film, then it's like, oh, this whose fault it really was. And players have a saying, the eye in the sky don't lie. So when they go back and watch coaches' film, oh man, it tells everything. And that's another way that like they'll teach young running backs vision. Like, okay, the play is set up to go this way, but here's your lane, here's your alley, and here's your cutbacks and different stuff like that. You know, it'd be little stuff like that, or like quarterbacks, like, hey, here's your 1st, 2nd, 3rd read, here's your check down, you know, whatever. This is how you should have progressed through this play. This is what you could have done better. And that's why film study is so important, because it will help you diagnose things better. And the smarter you are, the quicker you'll react. And it's like Zach Thomas, man, one of the greatest linebackers of all time. Zach Thomas was not the biggest, he was not the strongest, he was not the fastest. He was only like 5'10", 5'11". And he was slow as shit. But he was so smart to where he could read and diagnose the play and get there before you could, because he knew what you was doing. And that's one of the things that made like a Luke Kuechly so good. That's what made Ray Lewis so good. Ray Lewis was only 6'1", like 230. He wasn't a big linebacker at all.
Boy, he had some power.
Yeah, he was strong and he was smart. But I mean, and it's another thing, like when you watch some of the better safeties, like when you watch a Palomalu or Ed Reed,
Brian Dawkins,
Ronnie Lott back in the day, or even, you know, like when you watch some of those guys play, they were freaks of nature because they were smarter than everybody and they had the physical ability to do stuff. That's why Dion could play the way he did, and he didn't have to really be like this top tackling corner, because he could just shut you down because he knew where you were going to go, and he was fast enough and athletic enough to keep up with you and shut you down.
Yep.
So it's like being smart is almost just as good or better than being God-gifted athletically, because we've seen some God-gifted athletic guys.
Yeah, Darren Woodson. Both of the Woodsons.
Bingo. Bingo. Darren Woodson and Rod Woodson was so good. He was such a great corner that when he lost some of his athleticism, he went transferred to safety and was still a Pro Bowl level player at safety.
You ever realize so many corners do that and they slide back to safety because it's like I'm teaching Jackson that now because that's where they got him playing safety, and I'm trying to teach him. I'm like, yo, safety is I think on defense outside of being a linebacker or a DN or whatever hidden, safety is probably like the most fun position because you just get to sit back and chill. You're the quarterback of the defense a little bit, but you get to really sit back. You see the entire defense. And all you're doing is ball hawking because it's either a run play that you're coming up on, or it's a pass, and you get to watch where it's going so you can go get it.
And the thing is, oh yeah, Kareem Jackson sure did. More recently, he was another one. Charles Woodson.
Which McCullough is kind of playing a little safety with the Steelers this year.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey said he gonna move. So I was watching the pivot.
Oh, he did because they said he's gonna play like a hybrid kind of.
Him, JP Jr. and Slay. Slay is still gonna be safety, but him and JP Jr. are gonna switch back and forth between corner and safety. But all three of them are pretty much gonna play at the same time.
But see
which is gonna be interesting to see.
That's the other thing that a lot of teams are doing now. They'll have, like, if you got a decent safety that can cover, it's basically a nickelback is what they're gonna call it.
Yep.
You not really. Sometimes you play the slot, but sometimes you may play the boundary corner. But it's basically another safety who can cover, who's like a corner. It's like that another one of those hybrid positions, like what they're doing with Slay, or what they used to do with Slay, and what they're doing with Ramsey now. CJ Gardner-Johnson is one of those guys that's bounced around the league because he's a head case and has attitude problems and stuff, but he's one of the better guys that can play that hybrid safety nickelback position. But those guys are extremely valuable to defenses because it allows you to do different things on defense, especially if they can blitz. That's really what it is. And a lot of the times, one of the biggest characteristics for a corner to make that move to safety is, can they wrap up and tackle? And when you see a corner that can wrap up and tackle and play with a little bit of physicality, they can make that move to safety and transition very well because safety has to come up and help support the run defense. And so, because a lot of the times you be in a nickel or a dime and the team will run the ball, and now you got all these DBs on the field, you got to help wrap up and tackle. So it's like that's one of the biggest things. It takes some athleticism, yes, but it also takes some smarts and some physicality, and being able to wrap up and tackle is one of the biggest things that I know that they look for when you're making that transition from corner to safety. But yeah, man, we only barely a preseason game in, so it's still like a lot of stuff that needs to be fleshed out. One thing I am keeping an eye on is some of these injuries and whatnot. What's going on? Like, Shedeur is unlikely to play Saturday because he got a strained oblique muscle. And that Cleveland quarterback injury situation is almost like they are like cursed. I don't know what's going on with them right now. Like it's strange.
Because it's like you don't know who you're gonna keep, who you're gonna cut, because you can't watch nobody.
Bruh, it's so tough right now. It's so tough. But I mean,
hold on, y'all were talking about a quarterback battle in New Orleans. There's a battle? I thought they were sold on Show. Thought Show was the guy.
No, Tyler Shuck. They drafted him in the second round, but it's like he's a rookie. Hayner has maybe a couple of starts, and Rattler got a couple of starts. But the Rattler starts, he was playing with backup offensive line and wide receivers, like backup.
I told you, I like Rattler. I like Spencer.
Then you got Hayner. They even gave him a shot with the first team. What was this, last week last week or so? So
I gotta go back and watch the preseason game. I didn't really look at any of it.
I need to go back and watch a couple of them also, but like I was listening to this one podcast and they were talking about it, and they focus in and they go back and watch the practices and different stuff like that. And basically what they're saying is like, because none of the quarterbacks in that room have any real experience, they just looking for somebody to step up and basically say it's my job.
Same thing with
And
the
they're gonna
Browns.
Right.
Basically.
So there, it's like we got a couple of vets and we got a couple of rookies. We just want somebody to step up and say it's my job. Like we're gonna hand the keys
Show
to
us it's your job.
Flacco, but if one of y'all take the keys from Flacco, we won't be mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And basically what the Saints are doing is like they're just trying to like, all right, we're gonna put everything on the table and see who comes out best.
Y'all waiting on Archie. I mean, let's be honest. They
They
on
not
Archie.
because he might not even come out after this year.
Oh, it ain't got to be this year. They still waiting on Archie. That's why it's like, yeah,
nobody's gonna wait 2 years to take a chance to try to draft a quarterback that you still don't even know how he might. No team's doing that, bro. Nobody.
It sounds
Nobody's
good.
doing that.
It sounds good.
It sounds good.
Y'all are waiting on Archie.
Good, and it's good. It's good shot talk.
Because y'all are still in rebuild.
In reality, man, ain't nobody waiting 2 years. Because
what are y'all gonna be doing in the next 2 years? The same thing y'all doing now.
Bro, it's let's just be real.
The Saints are
nobody is waiting 2 years to draft a quarterback, bro. They're not. Nobody's doing that. They wouldn't have invested a second round pick in him if they was waiting on they would have picked somebody else. The teams don't wait like that. I keep trying to y'all like that because that's that y'all had that fantasy football talk. Y'all can have that. Ain't nobody waiting 2 years. Like they ain't doing it. And I had this conversation with a scout one time. And I was like, bro, keep it a buck with me. I was like, just keep it a buck with me. I said, if you see a team that's devoid on talent and they trying to get back and rebuild and whatnot, I was like, do you really like hit the reset button and say, okay, we X amount of years away, or we gonna wait for this player or whatever? He was like, never. He was like, it don't even matter if the owner wants to go all in or not. He was like, all of our jobs are always on the line. He was
of course.
Like, so we're not going to like just punt on something. He was like, because they get a hair up their ass and you gone. Like coaches, executives, scouts, and whatnot, they'll pay them to go away most of the time. And like high level coaches, maybe not, or high level GMs, they may stick around an extra year or so. He was like, man,
everybody else is expendable.
Everybody else is.
Oh no, I know that.
Our job is always on the line. He was like, so we got to make sure we're doing our jobs and stuff. But it's like one other conversation I had with somebody, they was like, realistically, 6 to 8 teams, maybe 8 to 10 at the most, every year do everything they can and go all the way in to try to win. He was like, most of the league, they're happy where they're at or whatever. The checks are still coming in cool. But at some point, pride takes over. At some point along the way, and it's
more
like
from middle of the road.
Better, yeah.
It's like you're okay with being middle of the road,
right?
You get to a point where it's like, all right, we got to turn that corner now,
right?
So, and then you got those teams that are at the bottom, like he said, that are just like, how much longer are we just going to stay down here? Are we content with being at the bottom, or are we going to fight to get back? Because looking at like a team like the Saints. For a long time, it was injuries. It was like different things.
Salary cap issues, injuries.
So,
and then once the team aged out, and then they're like, okay, well, maybe we need to start doing something different. They got blessed. They got blessed.
They got blessed
with Derek Carr saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and retire.
Oh, yeah.
For them. Because if he retire, brother, we talking about they still at least 3 years away from doing something because of salary cap issues. That was a blessing. So
I like Nussmeier. I can't wait to see because Nuss is a senior this year. Yeah. I'm interested to watch him this season and see how he really looks. Because I be forgetting about that. Like you still got players like Nuss coming out this year. I'm gonna be honest, it's not let's say Archie stays, right? Next year's draft is the one because you got who's eligible to come out? You got Sellers from South Carolina. If he were to leave after his junior year, he may stay another one. But I'm just thinking of like the quarterbacks that are juniors. That class is actually the better class.
I gotta
like
look into it.
That junior senior.
Yeah, I normally get into it, and like really when the season starts, that way I could start like actually watching some of the games and stuff. But I want to say, oh gosh, it's another quarterback besides Nussmeier that's like one of the top QBs in college football coming up. Like I haven't even gotten, bro. I barely paid attention to spring practices.
Yeah,
and I haven't really been catching up on preseason stuff because it's just been so much other stuff going on, like with the NBA.
I'm excited for week one though. Week one has some.
Bro, yeah. Wait.
Texas, Ohio State, week one.
This was the thing that I wanted to talk about when we pulled up college football. Texas is number 1, and they're the underdog.
I'm gonna be honest. So I've been playing. I go off the game a little bit, but Ohio State got some. I don't know who gonna. I think they already said who that Sane is gonna be the starter. Saying, but. Ohio State got some shit. Like,
bro,
man, they might be a cheat code again this season. Like but I love Texas too. That's a funny story. I was reading.
Bro, cuz it's stupid, bro. And I know that for a fact because like my uncle was somebody, one of them was talking about it. Like he was more excited that Carr retired.
Every time, every Saints fan I know between my Facebook and Twitter, I was like, "Damn, y'all just go." It's that. I mean, it was that bad, but I was just like, God, I ain't never seen people like jump for joy like that off of like, you know what I mean, like somebody retired,
bro. Because let me tell you, like. Carr's injury situation really goes back to when he was with the Raiders, right? So he was already damaged goods when he was there. And then the Saints signed him and gave him all that money, and people was pissed because they thought he was damaged goods. It was like, well, maybe he got something left, whatever. And then when he started playing, and it was like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Like he literally, there was at least 1 or 2 times where Chris Olave's concussions can be almost attributed to Derek Carr's throws. Like I know one in particular, it was like a deep dig or whatever over the middle, and like the way he led him got him open or whatever, but it left him open to take a huge hit. And so it was just one of them things, man, where stuff like that happens. But Arch only coming out if he hit that. He may not even do that because, bruh, that kid has grew up in money, right? Cooper may not have been like a star football player like his two brothers were, his 2 little brothers, I'm sorry. But Cooper did very well for himself.
Yeah, he did.
They did very well for themselves. And like I got a personal attachment to them kids and seeing them kids do well because I watched Cooper, Eli, and Peyton come up playing at Newman. And like I remember going to church with my grandmother, and I remember probably Arch little badass was the one that kept like making noise in the benches with the pews and the kneelers and all of that kind of stuff. I remember that. Like I remember bumping into Eli at the po' boy shop uptown around the corner from my grandmother and them house and stuff when he was still at Ole Miss. Like I remember all of that. But let's just say like this. He hit that national championship Heisman double up, right? And you look at who's gonna be like drafting first, second, maybe third. If you don't like them teams with your success, NIL money or whatever, you just go back to school.
Nowadays, NIL is going to keep a lot of players there for 4 years. That's the other part of NIL is we going to start getting like, especially like once we get into basketball season. But I think not really with basketball, maybe with football more. We're going to start seeing a lot more 4 rather than 3, but
yeah,
basketball they still leaving. They like, yeah, that's cool. I'm still out.
But and the craziest thing is with basketball though, like with the one and done thing, you really only have to go to school and really try that fall semester.
You
That
can
that
literally stop
that
going to
spring
school
semester, you can pretty much like relax if you're for sure gonna be one and done or whatever.
because
And
once
then
y'all go back to school in January, you can go back, but you just gonna practice, sleep, tutoring,
work
maybe,
out, yeah,
work
hit
out,
hit study hall and stuff like that to make sure you get your
get to
mandatory hours
March.
in.
Once you get to March, niggas don't care about class no more.
It's done,
Actually, I'm gonna
bro.
be honest. Once they hit February,
Mhm.
they'll give you a good month when they come back to school, but by February, they don't care no more. They
Bruh.
like, oh, we in the tournament? Bet.
And then especially like when certain classes start up or whatever after the winter break, like if you got classes starting like mid-January or something, it might be a good month or so, because like once you get to
Exactly,
the
Dre.
thick of that conference schedule, she
I'm gonna be honest. I won't even a one and done, but let me tell you how it was as a freshman. I like first semester, freshman year. I'm focused because I'm like, all right, I'm here. I got to show the coaches. Once you pay attention and you start noticing everything, we came back from. Excuse me.
Once you come back from that winter break,
Yeah, I just didn't care. It was partying girls. It was partying girls, practice, partying girl, like, and that was even as a freshman.
bro. But no, that's real though, because no, listen, that's facts though. That's facts though, because there are some coaches where they will check with your professors and stuff and
Then make sure you were there.
Oh man, they do not play about that.
But
shit.
sometimes you just gotta show up. It's not even about doing work in the class. You just gotta be in the class.
Exactly. What up, Marty? I saw you snuck in here.
Marty,
yeah, man. But like, bro, it be so real though, because like I remember my freshman year at Tulane when the football team had went undefeated. Y'all gonna have to look that up because I'm not giving that year away. But I remember I was hooping at the Riley Center, and then I was always hooping at the park. And they was like, bro, why don't you go out for the team? And I was like, nah, man, because I said all the extra shit that they got to go through and stuff like that. I was like, bro, I'm barely hanging on with just taking the classes that I got. I'm trying to keep my academic scholarship. I ended up losing my academic scholarship because I couldn't keep up, but I was fucking around and stuff. So
matter of fact, while we got Marty
around either.
While we got Marty here for a little while, we won't really talking too much AFC, but hey, Marty, you're welcome for that running back that came from this side. Boy, bro, I ain't been excited for another team in so long. Look, he been turning up. I'm talking about, I've been watching practice.
Yeah.
He been turning up.
Bro, let me tell you something. When he hit, he took that kickoff, he went left. And then when he cut to the middle of the field and he saw that little alleyway, he turned on the jets. I was like, oh shit.
But he was doing that at Ohio State like the whole time.
Bruh. But this
I tried to tell people, I honestly think he was third best back coming out of that draft, in my opinion. And not just because of family. Like, I'm looking at what I saw game film while, Jenny is one. I think what's the back that the Giants took?
Hold on.
From Oregon, not Oregon. Is it Oregon State?
Hold up, man. Let me find.
No, Arizona State. I can never say his name.
Scatterbo.
Yeah. I think Scatterbo was the second best, and I honestly think Lil Cuz was 3. Like, he has home run hitting speed every time he touches the ball, and he's been like that since sophomore year of high school.
But listen, remember it was like last year, maybe year before last. I was like, bro, they got the perfect Thunder and Lightning combo with Lil Cuz and Judkins.
Oh, last year? Yeah.
Perfect Thunder and Lightning combo with those two guys. They didn't really remind me of like Lindell White and Reggie Bush, but it was
a little bit, but not as much.
Was not as like dynamic as those two guys were.
Because Lindell was so like, different.
Bro,
people don't talk about Lindell White enough, man. Like,
they don't.
He went to Tennessee and still was fire, but he just added too much weight. Yep. But Lindell was another one. Like, if all he needed was one good cut, he was
Mm-hmm.
gone. And even if
Bruh,
he didn't cut, he was gonna barrel over you, and he was
bro.
gone.
And when you have a guy like that, that's a battering ram at running back, and then you put a guy back there that can like one cut on a dime and then leave everybody else behind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cheesecake white.
It was one of them things, man. It was one of them things, bruh, that like I keep telling people, like nowadays in the NFL, you gotta have two backs,
Got to.
times three. Because you got to have guys that do different things, and when you got guys that do different things, and you can interchange certain pieces because some of them are a little bit more dynamic and can do some different things within themselves.
That Titans scene was fun to watch, man. They really
Oh
were.
hell yeah!
Him and Vince Young. But yeah, Marty, watching. He easily should have that starting running back spot easily.
But the thing that I like the most about Scatterbo, he may not be as big or as fast as anybody, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield very well.
Yeah, he's probably gonna be from what I've seen on the Giants depth chart. I think he's RB2 right now. He probably will stay RB2 because I like who they had at one. I forgot his name, but they're gonna have a nice
right now.
They're gonna have a nice tandem. They're gonna have a nice tandem at running back also.
Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah. They really like Tracy.
They also remember they signed Singletary.
And Singletary really didn't play a lot last year. I don't know if he was hurt, but
I think he did get hurt last year because I remember he had like a foot injury or something like that.
I think it was. But Tracy kind of turned up last year. And they're really high, coming into this season. They're really high on him. So
yeah, he's listed at he's RB1 and Singletary is 2, and they got Scatterbo 3rd.
Okay,
but I definitely like you know teams gonna keep 3, maybe 4 running backs, man.
Yeah,
so
always.
He's definitely gonna be on the roster, and I think that once he gets some time to get some reps in and show what he can do, if as long as he's showing improving, I think that kid gonna get more playing time though, for real. But like it's just crazy how sometimes like the transition from college to pro sports is so different.
Yeah,
and sometimes people can make that transition and hit the ground running, and sometimes it takes them a little while to get going. You have some late bloomers and stuff like that. Like, I know, like in baseball, for example, not even college to pro, I'll say more or less the minors to the majors. Sometimes you get guys that come in and they just good. And then sometimes you get guys where they bounce around a little bit and then they find their groove and then they're good later on. But like, in the NFL, there's certain positions where I just feel like running back is one of those positions where you can come in and make an immediate impact right off the bat. You just have to work hard, get in the playbook, and know exactly what the offense is calling you to do. But running back is one of those positions where you can come in and make an immediate impact in pro sports, like coming from one level to the next. That's one of those real positions, man. Hey, bro, I already know you got to dip out because I know you got that early morning call, man. Appreciate you tuning in, though, homie, as always. Much love.
While we kind of got everybody in here, we'll probably talk more of it next week because I think this is a little more of an extensive talk, but we really got to talk about this Travis Hunter thing, man, because it's still a thing. It's really still a thing, and it's going to be a thing at least this for a few seasons. Because I want to watch this full season to see how it goes. But a lot of what I've been watching lately and seeing other players say is they want him to do it. They want to watch him do it. They hope he can. But that's 120 snaps at the minimum.
Bruh, it could be anywhere from like 80, as low as 80, upwards of 120. But we're talking about at the highest level, the top 1% of the 1%. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I did hear, some guys were saying like, "Hey, listen, we're gonna run at him when he playing corner to force him to be physical enough to tackle and see what he could do. And then if he good enough to run his ass back out there at wide receiver, we're gonna get physical with him because it's like, can your body hold up to that physicality?
Because like Devontae Adams said, now you're shortening your career. So you're going from like he could easily play 14, you know what I mean? Realistically, he could do 13, 14 years But now you're shortening it down to like 7, maybe 8 now, because you're playing so much. So I think he's going to do it for a while, and then hopefully he smartens up before somebody else really gets on him, and he just smartens up himself, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna pick a side of a ball. I'm gonna see which one I like most, and I'm gonna just stick to this. I think he's gonna be definitely a lights out wide receiver, and he could be a lockdown corner. I think it just depends on which one he loves more.
I was looking up that documentary my cousin was talking about because I do remember vaguely that
Drug wave. I'm gonna look at it tonight at work.
That Tulane scandal and stuff. Like they had it was point shaving, it was drug, it was all kind of shit they had going on back then, man. With what's his name? Hot Rod. I can't remember it, but I remember his name was Hot Rod. But yeah, but like they had all kind of shit going on back then, bro. Like it was crazy. But nah, the thing is with Hunter though, I really sometimes I wonder, like they're gonna let him like try it, but they really, I want to say he's listed. I'm about to pull it up right now. He's listed at like wide receiver 1 on the depth chart.
Oh, I see it right here. Drug wave, the 85 Tulane cocaine scandal.
Yeah, he's listed as one of the starters at wide receiver.
And I think they got him at. I think they have him first team wide receiver.
They have
second team corner.
Yeah, he's a backup corner, but he's first team wide receiver. That's what it was. I couldn't remember, like it was in some kind of order or whatever, but that's how they got him listed right now. And to me, honestly, if he's showing more promise and he can bring more skill to the offensive side of the football, do it. And let him play nickel or dime on defense. And just because you're gonna play a lot of nickel and a lot of dime, but let's just say you rotate him with a couple of other guys at that nickel and dime position instead of giving him out there every play. You know what I'm saying? And when you got a Brian Thomas Jr., I'm sorry, like you got a guy that's a solid wide receiver 1, and then the other other starter is De'Ami Brown.
Yep.
You know, and he's a decent receiver. I mean, he's not like a superstar or nothing like that, but I mean, he's a decent, serviceable, wide receiver. He doesn't have very many catches or targets or whatever on his career to say that he deserves the ball or like he's got this great skill set or whatever. I'm not shitting on him, nothing like that, but it's just like Travis can beat out some of those other guys that they have on their roster to get a starting position at wide receiver. At corner, you got to be a little bit more careful because, like I said, other teams have already said it. We're going to run at him to force him to be physical on defense because he's only like 180 pounds or so. And if you play a corner in the NFL at that level, your speed and athleticism and everything is okay, but we saw that sometimes he doesn't have that recovery speed like some of these truly elite corners have. So if he gets lost on the double move, and I mean, we saw the receiver at what was it, Stanford or whatever, tore his ass up last year. Dude damn near got drafted just because of what he did in that one game against Hunter.
Yep.
But it's like the kid is an elite athlete, and he's shown the capability to play both positions at the next level. It's just how well can he perform at those positions at the next level. That's the biggest thing. And I mean, it is what it is, man. It's like they're gonna truly test him out and see what he can actually do. But I'm just looking forward to seeing what the kid can do and how well he can play or whatever. Real quick to update y'all on the MLB standings. Bro, I don't know what's going on with the Yankees. They done dropped to 3rd place in the AL East. Like they're 4-6 in their last 10. The Blue Jays got a 4.5 game lead over the Red Sox.
Yeah.
It's gonna be them 3 teams that's gonna be at the top of the AL East like they have been. And Baltimore just fell completely off the fucking map.
I don't know what's going on in Baltimore right now.
Bruh, like I guess they just figured like, well shit, we ain't winning shit this year. Then they traded away a couple of their star players or whatever. AJ Hinch has the Tigers with a 6.5 game lead over the Guardians in the Central. They pretty much they probably gonna end up winning that division unless they fall and collapse. Which they
Yeah,
still have a 6.5 game lead. And they're 5-5 in their last 10, and the Guardians are 7-3 in their last 10. They still have a 6.5 game lead. Go figure. The Astros need to get their shit together because they only got a 1 game lead over the Mariners in the AL West.
the Mariners are 8-2 in their last 10. So,
Bruh, wait. But the craziest part was Astros been doing this shit with smoke and mirrors. They've been having all kind of pictures, call ups, everything. Like, just they like, hey, voila, we still in first place. So I don't know how they doing it, but they figuring it the fuck out. And over in the NL, the Phillies got a 4.5 game lead over the Mets in the NL East. The Brewers got a commanding 7.5 game lead over the Cubs in the Central. And that damn NL West, the Dodgers and the Padres are going back and forth, bro.
I'm about to say, yeah, a half a game lead. But the Dodgers been on a little bit of a slide. 4-6 in their last 10. So
yeah, and dang, who was it, man? That's what it was. The
Ohtani news.
I knew it was something else meant to hit about baseball. Like, the thing with the interpreter, that was legit because he got caught trying to like impersonate Shohei and get money transferred and stuff like that. So that I kind of yeah, that's it. But then he got caught up in this other little scandal with the investments and stuff, and it's kind of like, dog, like, what's going on around you?
The Dodgers played the Angels tonight.
Oh yeah, they do.
Shohei
have games in.
Shohei struck out Mike Trout twice tonight so far.
Bruh, every time somebody say Mike Trout name, I get frustrated because he was supposed to be one of the better players of this generation, and the injury bug just took his ass out. Like, I still think he has some skill left, but what he was before, he'll never get back to what he was before. He'll never get back there. I'm sorry. He just won't. But yeah, that's some weird stuff going on with Shohei, man. It's like, who's around you that's hiring these people that's getting you into these situations where your name is coming across headlines for all the wrong reasons? Like, you got to watch yourself, bro. Like, you really got to watch yourself. Because you can't keep getting into these kind of situations, especially as high profile as you are. Man, if you don't shut up talking about the Rangers coming up, they 3-7 in their last 10 and 7.5 games back. Congratulations. You played yourself. Is Ohtani gonna walk into MVP area? Bro, let me tell you something. Shohei could literally win MVP every year. Just like LeBron could have won it every year a few years ago. But they'll get fatigued and want to give it to someone else. That's what I feel is going to happen, because I think a lot of the times, and it's not just certain sports or whatever, I think that happens across all sports. Like, voters get voter fatigue, and they just get tired of voting for the same person every year. And it's like, we got
voter fatigue is a real thing, for real.
I really think it's a real thing, bro, because there's like, you got to look at these guys as like, this guy is legit like the best player in the game. He's one of the best hitters, and he's a really serviceable, like decent, like really good pitcher. So why wouldn't you give him MVP every year? The only thing is if his team is doing good, and that's why he went from the Angels to the Dodgers, because he was like, nah, we're going to go to a team that's building something, that's throwing money at everything to try to put together a contender. So that way I could be in these playoffs and stuff.
Jokic is definitely, the NBA definitely has voter fatigue.
Mm-hmm. Same thing happened in the Jokic. Same thing happened to LeBron. They get tired of voting for the same guy because they're just that good of a basketball player, and it happens in the NBA more often than any other sport, is what I've noticed. But damn, man, I gotta drink some more water. I almost caught a cramp in my damn hand. But yeah, like it's one of those things, man, where you could look at Shohei and look at his numbers that he put up every year, and you can't really make a solid argument why you shouldn't give him MVP. It's more or less the argument is going to be, okay, why shouldn't we give him MVP? Who else is out there that's doing something? And it's like they almost looking for someone else to give it to instead of giving it to the, so-called best player or whatever.
Yeah, because in my opinion, I still think the NBA one was it was tough this year, in my opinion. I think by the end of the season, I ain't saying they gave it to the wrong person because he won a championship, but Jokic coming out, what was it, a triple-double as a big man? Crazy. Averaging the triple-double over the whole season as a center. So,
and the other thing
it was tough.
They were fourth in the West, but I think the reason why Shea got it is because Oklahoma City was pretty much wire to wire the top team in the West, and they won 68 games, and he was clearly their catalyst and best player. So it was like, damn, he averaged 30 for like the third year in a row, and this year he was on the best team in the league. Like, averaging 30, I think like 35-5 or 35-6 or something like that is what he averaged on the best team in the league. It's like best player on the best team, or do we look at this historic season that this guy just had?
It was tough. I don't think they would have got it wrong either way. Like Jokic would have won. I mean, people would have probably still been in an uproar because GA just was balling the fuck out this year.
Bro, he was on another. He averaged. I just pulled it up. It was 32.7 a game. So I want to say he led the league in points. He averaged 5 rebounds, 6.4 assists, 1.7 steals, and averaged a block a game as well. A lot of the times his defense gets slept on because he's such an offensive force for that team, but he does play solid defense. That's one of the things that we can't like just throw away and look away at. You know what I'm saying? MLB teams complain about the Dodgers spinning. Like here, and this is why Rob Manfred is going around having those kind of conversations that he's having with teams, because he's trying to introduce that salary cap or whatever, and the spending cap and all of this kind of stuff. The owners are really trying to push for that, and they're using the commissioner to push for it. And him and Bryce Harper got into a little dust up. I want to say they may have talked it out or shook hands later or whatever, but Bryce Harper pretty much told him, you can get the fuck out of here, saying that, trying to introduce a hard cap or whatever. And it's all because they're trying to get the finances of the sport under control. And it's just one of those things, man, where it's going to be a dig in, and we may get another labor stoppage in baseball over this, because the owners really want to get the finances and the business of the game under control. And the only way they're going to do that is if they make the players like force them to the table and have a work stoppage, because the players not going to go for that shit. The Major League Baseball Players Association is the strongest players association in sports. Like, them boys will stand with each other 10 toes down on anything and everything. And so to get them to get a hard cap or anything resembling like that, or a lid on salaries and stuff like that, you're going to really have to force a labor stoppage of some kind of way somehow. We have this debate every year about MVP, defensive player of the year, best player versus best player on best team. Yeah, and that's what it always ends up being in most sports. It's like sometimes the best player in the game isn't always on the best team. But then when you have the best player on the best team is also the leading scorer in the league, he's averaging, a steal and a half and a block a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. It's like tomato. Like, they could have been co-MVPs or whatever. The last time I remember seeing that, I want to say it was Steve McNair and Brett Favre, if I'm not mistaken, or Steve McNair and Peyton Manning, or somebody like that. I can't remember who it was, but anyway, man, like, yeah, it was something like that. But yeah, man, it's been fun talking to y'all. We could keep going all night. But listen, we tired and we got stuff to do.
I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with kids. Literally,
The same,
literally,
bro.
literally.
Same, same. Like I got a dude on my team. I'm not gonna lie. That's like right at my son age.
Yeah, man. The young man I work with is like 23, and some days I go from big brother to father, and it's a line there. It's really a line there.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm your OG or your daddy sometimes.
bro. It be so funny because like I be asking them questions, even though they're all younger than me. I'm like, hey man, how do I do this? How do I da, 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 da? And I'm like, okay, cool, appreciate it, cool, thank you, and appreciate you helping me and stuff like that. I'm humble about it because I'm like, it don't matter how old I am. Like when it comes to this job, y'all been doing this way longer and y'all way better at it than I am. So I need to ask questions.
Yeah,
But nah, if we come to like we talking about some life stuff, okay, that's where I could step in and kind of like, okay, da da da. Da. But yeah, man, it's cool though. It's cool though. But we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Episode 87 presented by Dubby Energy.
definitely. Go cop that W Energy, man. I'm gonna drop that link soon, hopefully in the next coming days. So if you don't follow me on socials, it is DXKEYZ on Twitter and Instagram. Um, as you see over there, _Jermaine. I'm definitely dropping that hopefully before Sunday. My next few days are crazy. NASCAR weekend, guys.
Oh yeah.
I've been waiting for this like all year. Not all year because I've gone to other races, but I get hyped for Richmond, so because it's home and it's just fun.
Yeah.
So
And you ain't
I ain't
gotta
got
go
to go.
that far to go to race. You
I
go
live
down the road.
5 minutes from the track, bro. Maybe 10. On race
Yeah.
day, it's a little longer because of traffic, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
literally 10 minutes from the track. I can't wait.
Bruh, that is
I
insane.
might take a lift to the track just to leave my car at the crib. I can't wait for this weekend, man. My boy Breeze, a friend of the show, he'll be in town this weekend. It's his birthday, so we definitely gonna turn up. We're gonna have a good time. Hopefully, I can get some footage this year. I was too much in fan mode last year, so I'm gonna try to be
Hey
in
man,
media fan mode this year. But I'm gonna try to
just
get good footage for you guys.
just
I'm gonna
go
have
enjoy
I'm gonna
yourself,
have some
bro.
stuff to talk about next week,
Just go enjoy yourself, bro. I can't wait to hear that when y'all come back. Cause last time when y'all had went, it was so much. Like
bro. It
it
was
was a
literally a
lot.
lot.
She was
So
crazy. But the best part about it is like when y'all have a weekend like this, when Richmond comes up, it's like we got preseason stuff to talk about for the NFL. MLB is coming up to their stretch run and everything. Nothing's really going on in the NBA. And it's like we could get a good NASCAR, at least a couple minutes in on some NASCAR and have
oh
like
yeah,
real insight from people that's right there at the
oh
race
yeah.
on pit road.
I
You know what I'm saying?
I implore all of y'all, bro. If you've never been to a NASCAR race, please go. It's a great time.
Hmm.
Like the tailgating alone, like NFL tailgating is lit. Don't get me wrong, especially
Yeah,
like certain teams. Like
yeah.
Dallas is lit. Washington's pretty fire. New Orleans, almost every team, their tailgate is fire.
Hmm.
But that NASCAR tailgate, it's such a good time, man. It's really such a good time.
This shit is different, bro. Like I've heard about, especially being on the what they call it, the
Uh,
infield
yes,
tailgating. Like
yes,
that's a whole different animal right there. Like
yeah,
outside is cool, but that infield tailgating at NASCAR, I heard is like that's like college football level tailgating.
yeah. It is, it is. Because even on the outside, it is though. It's like you
Yeah,
got people pulled up in their RVs. They got their grills out.
yeah,
You got steak, ribs, chicken, and these are people coming from so many different areas. So you're
yeah,
getting like different food from the west, from different parts of the south, the
yeah.
north, the Midwest. So it's always a good time, man. NASCAR has changed so much the way it used to be. It very much so was a white man's sport for the longest time. But
Hmm.
certain cities, and I think even in some of the more southern cities now, you're seeing so much more of us. And it's just so inviting, not just from our fans, but just the fans in general, where everybody's just there having a good time. So I can't wait.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good time. Well, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We'll holler at y'all next week. Episode 87 presented by W. We out.
Don't forget, I'm from Houston.